Hi everybody, Red Hill Eagle here. Welcome back to the channel. It's another episode of our WCW 1998 save, A Broken Heart. It's Monday, week 3 of June. It's Nitro. We're a couple of weeks away now from Great American Bash, and if I do say so myself, I think that's an awesome card. We kick off this show with Ric Flair. He is, as we found out last week, the new CEO of WCW. Get a rating of 77 here while he announces the main event for tonight. Now, he told Hollywood Hogan last week that he will not have an easy ride as champion. But that's not the sort of thing you do to faces. That's the sort of thing you... that's not the sort of thing you do to heels. That's the kind of thing you do to faces. You don't make life difficult for heels. You make life difficult for faces. So Ric Flair announced here that Hogan would take on the Giant and Goldberg in a triple threat match. That obviously got a massive pop. Definitely, there's no way Hogan's going to win this. We're going to have someone else is going to take away the belt. One of the good guys. But as I say, you don't make life difficult for heels. You're supposed to make life easy for them. So Hogan comes out and he comes to the ring and he gives Ric Flair a piece of paper. It's like a letter. It's a nice sort of letterhead. I don't mean a scrap of paper. And Hogan says, I'll save you the time to actually read it, but I've been to my lawyer about your attitude last week about making life difficult for me, and so I went to my lawyer. He's an employment lawyer, and basically on that letter it says that you will not treat me any differently to any other worker on this roster. You will not deliberately just make life difficult for me. You will not give me impossible challenges. Tonight's match I deem as an impossible challenge. So basically Hollywood Hogan has kind of found some sort of like employment loophole. You don't make difficult for it's a form of bullying, I guess. Probably wasn't so much a thing back in the late 90s as compared to what it is in today's workplace, but we're going with it. So Hogan says, but I'll tell you what, I'm not an unreasonable guy. I will defend the belt tonight. But Rick, I'm going to defend it against you. So Hogan's obviously thinking, Flair wouldn't have a chance. He's obviously rusty. He's not wrestled for about a month. He's kind of his head's in a different space now. He's not sort of ring ready. But I will defend the belt tonight, Rick, against you. So tonight's main event will be Hogan against Flair for the belt, and that's a rating of 78. Diamond Dallas Page teams up with Chris Benoit and they take on Royalty. I've said this for a good few weeks now. Steven Regal's pop just is not moving, so I just wanted to give him a win against someone much higher in the card. So we've given them a victory against DDP and Chris Benoit. 71 rating, which is actually really decent. And yes, it is a victory for Royalty as Steven Regal gets the win. He pinned Diamond Dallas Page with a T strainer. So yeah, I wanted it to be a little bit different than a sort of submission. I did have, and again, it doesn't tell me, what was it? Road agent notes: Sid Vicious should interfere against Diamond Dallas Page. So why it's not put it there? I keep saying this now. The theory that someone posted on one of my videos a while back now. Because you had the other person interfere, it may have been why it hadn't put it there. The other person being interfered on. But this time, it was Sid Vicious should interfere against Diamond Dallas Page as the finish. We had Diamond Dallas Page take the pin, so by that theory, it should say it there, but it doesn't. But anyway, they get the win. So yeah, hopefully now we can just start getting the ball rolling with Steven Regal's push. So then post match, it's just obviously we had Sid Vicious interfere, Diamond Dallas Page and DDP brawl. Nothing more to say about this. Just advanced that segment. Of course, Diamond Dallas Page is going to be pissed at Sid Vicious for allowing or helping Steven Regal get the win against him, get the pin against him. DDP would obviously think he's much higher than Steven Regal. To be fair, though, he didn't argue when I booked that match. He didn't say he was upset at the finish or anything like that. So good on you, DDP. But yeah, 72 rating for this post-match segment. Gene Okerlund interviews Booker T ahead of his US title challenge against Kurt Hennig. It was announced last week that Booker T would have an opportunity against Kurt Hennig for the US title. And it's Booker T basically just saying how excited he is for the opportunity. Rating 75, pleased with that because Booker T still, I think he's back down to recognisable. We did get him up to well known, but he did drop back down to recognisable. I think I could be getting that mixed up. Maybe he's yo-yo in between star and well known. I can't remember, but either way, really good rating, 75. Yeah, happy with that one. So let's get to the match. And we have a new United States champion. Let's go through the details and then I'll discuss. Good heat and decent wrestling. Booker T defeated Kurt Hennig in 14 minutes 11 by pinfall with a missile dropkick. During the match, we had Eddie Guerrero run in and attack Booker T. Obviously, didn't affect him too much though because he still came out and got the win. He is the United States champion. 81, fantastic match, fantastic rating. Boosted that storyline, it gained heat. So the idea really, not just to give Booker T something, we did want to give Booker T something, but the US belt wasn't really going anywhere and I wasn't doing much with it. I had that little storyline between DDP and Kurt Hennig over it, and I wanted a heel champion so I could transition to a face, and it was between a few guys. I wasn't 100% sure. I did consider Rob Van Dam, but thought it might be a bit too early. I want the US belt to mean a little bit more, and now that we've got someone who has that belt, who I am looking to push, because I'm not looking at pushing Kurt Hennig, I think I can involve it in a lot more storylines now and a lot more segments, and just kind of make it feel a lot more important. So that was the main sort of thinking behind that. So yeah, Booker T is your new United States champion. And then post match, Eddie Guerrero gets in the ring and he knocks Booker T to the ground as Booker T is celebrating. 58, that's a nearly said something really rude there, but I'm really annoyed with that because obviously that storyline has now lost heat, but probably lost heat quite badly. 58, that's terrible. I wonder what the dirt sheet says. I don't often look at this, but I mean, was it awful gimmick for Guerrero? Booker T's got an awful gimmick as well. Okay, they probably need looking at them. We'll do something there. I wonder whether it was a really short segment as well, but it's not. It's not what it says there. But yeah, just sort of developing that storyline. But Guerrero does also say, "I want you, Booker. I want you, and I want that belt now. Now that you hold that, I want you more than ever. I want you at Great American Bash." So just a little hint there. Booker T will be taking on Eddie Guerrero at the Great American Bash. Randy Savage is teaming up with Sting to take on Mortis and Wrath. Um, the other the thinking behind this one as well is let's have an alliance tag team match. Don't do it very often unless they're facing off against the NWO. And let's just try to get a bit of pop on one of our other tag teams. And I've gone with Mortis and Wrath. We've given Savage and Sting the win, because of course we have. It's a rating of 78, which is really good. So hopefully these guys have got some pop from that. I'm just trying to think of other ways of getting our tag teams over, because we don't really have, although we've got a healthy amount of tag teams, we don't have loads. So, we will sort of start repeating matches soon. So I thought, why not? And a couple of, a star and a major star going up against, these two guys who I think are both recognisable. Hopefully they get a little bit of pop from that, even with the loss. But yeah, 78, decent match. Gorilla Monsoon is backstage and he's got a couple of scoops for the Great American Bash. He announces a triple threat match between Goldberg, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the Giant at Great American Bash. So Goldberg, Bigelow, and the Giant. Three really big guys there facing off in a triple threat at the Great American Bash. And he also announces Rob Van Dam versus Raven. So nothing big really with this segment, just announcing a couple of matches. I suddenly realised, hang on, we're on week 3 already and I've only got like 2 matches announced. So yeah, thought we'd do one of these little segments just to announce 2 more matches, rating of 64. And then we've got a taped angle of Goldberg, Bigelow and the Giant. It's just a feud recap video. Thought we might get a little bit more than that, but it wasn't to be. 68 overall. Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton take on Psychotic. I'm not going to do much with this tag team. They pretty much are just a jobber tag team, but it's Psychosis and Psychosis 2. I kind of looked at my roster and thought, "Do you know what? We've got two guys here who are a tag team. We're never using them. Why not? I don't use them in singles matches because it would make sense for them to be a tag team, and I've not been using them. I'm not necessarily looking at pushing them. They've got a loss here, but yeah, it just makes sense to stick them in a tag team. And now I've actually put them as a tag team in the game. I will be more inclined to use them. Just makes a lot more sense. But yeah, Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton get the win in a match that had subpar wrestling and little heat. The win came in 9 minutes 3 seconds when Arn Anderson pinned Psychosis 2 with a spinning spinebuster. Psychosis 2 was the weak link. Yeah, 65 overall. And then post match, Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton get on the microphones and they make a challenge for the tag team titles at Great American Bash. And the champions, Meng and the Barbarian, Faces of Fear, they come out and they accept the challenge. So again, just a small segment to announce another match that we've got planned for Great American Bash, rating of 60. And we've got Chris Jericho backstage, and he's just watching a couple of videos back of his own work, really, in the ring, and he's admiring it, and oh, look at that move, oh, that was good, oh, yeah, there's no way he was getting out of that one. And then we've just got Dean Malenko come along, and he sees Jericho and says, "Hey, Chris, I can see you there, you're doing some good stuff, but do you think you could take on someone like me? Do you think you'd be able to cope with a technician like me?" So we're going to have Jericho Malenko at Great American Bash. During this segment as well, yeah, obviously Chris Jericho did kind of slag off Savage a little bit as well, just to give that storyline a bit of advancement. But yeah, so Great American Bash, we're going to have Jericho and Dean Malenko, and for a real rarity for me, I'm going to have it as what was it, a technical masterclass? Yeah, I don't use enough of those match aims. Are they called? They're not the aims, are they? Are they the aims or the? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it is the match aims. I don't really use enough of them. I only tend to use the storytelling and sometimes to steal the show. But I thought with these two guys, I looked at their technical ratings and I thought, yeah, why not put on a technical masterclass? So we're going to do that. But this got 73, which was better than I thought. Buff Bagwell is with Lex Luger, and it's a Bagwell pre-match promo on Brett. So it's Luger and Brett really who are feuding, but Lex, as we know, is friends with Buff. They had teamed together. I did notice in game though they got really poor chemistry, so I'm going forward. I won't be using them, but yeah, they're still friends. We can still use them in angles and that sort of thing. So this just advances the storyline. Rating of 70. And the match itself gets an 81. Pleased with that. The storyline has advanced. Hasn't gained heat though. But good heat and decent wrestling. Bret Hart defeated Buff Bagwell in 14 minutes 23 by submission with the sharpshooter. So yeah, nothing more. Nothing really big about this one. Just wanted to get Bret on the card. He hasn't faced Buff yet. And it kind of just tied in a little bit with his feud with Lex. 81 overall. Gene Okerlund catches up with Ric Flair in a pre-match promo ahead of his title challenge against Hogan. Nothing really to shout about again with this one. It was just sort of, stick a promo in there. Why not have it be Flair? Very disappointing with just a 67 though. So yeah, that's it really. So what's going to happen in the match itself? 74. Yeah, not bad, not bad. But Hogan, he does retain. Of course he does. In a bout that had great heat and good wrestling, Hollywood Hogan defeated Ric Flair in 8 minutes 1 second by countout. Hollywood Hogan makes defense number 1 of his WCW World Heavyweight title. So yeah, just wanted to sort of play off that original concept where Hogan was going to have a hard time, and I said, you don't give the heels a hard time because you give the faces a hard time, and then the fans are sympathetic towards them. If you give heels a hard time, you don't want the fans being sympathetic with the heels. You want the heels to have it easy, and the fans resent the heels. So had to sort of turn that around a little bit, do what I did with Hogan and the whole having a lawyer thing, and then thought, well, why not have these two guys in the main event then? Which I did. 74. Let's see what I get for the show itself. 75. Yeah, we've had better. It's probably the worst one we've had for a good couple of weeks, to be honest. We have lost popularity in 11 regions, but thankfully that score isn't due to the storyline thing again, because a couple there lost heat, so I was a little bit worried that we might get that penalty again. Hopefully we can do something for week 4 of June and just sort of give that another boost. That's kind of it for this show. The next episode will be the last episode of Nitro before Great American Bash, which again I will have the card for you at the end of that episode for you to make your predictions. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.